This week, we've got local racing legend Devin Smith on the show to, like the Ebenezer Scrooge of racing, talk about his past, present, and future. So strap in as we bring you up to the race pace. Sponsored by CW Motorsports. I'm Doug.
And I'm Chad.
And there's racing happening, but nothing we have any coverage of, so we've got something even better for you. We've got Devin Smith, local racing legend, that we're going to bring on the show today.
He's a legend.
He is a legend. So Devin, man, how are things going for you?
Oh, they're going pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Dude, we're happy to. You're a local racing legend. We kind of have to.
Why legend?
Because it's better than infamous.
Yes. Because we're trying to be nice?
Is it because I'm old? Is that it?
You said it, not me.
What's the saying? Legends don't die. They fade away or something like that? No.
Yeah, something like that.
No, man. We're excited to have you on. And yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You got the buggy there in the background. And
it was kind of by accident, really. I drove out here to Courtney's house just to get some wind in my hair, and after what happened yesterday, I felt like I needed to drive the car more, I think, and
so
figured
why not put it happened.
Figured why not put it in the background.
Well, since you mentioned it, what happened yesterday?
Well, I rolled. I was trying to get around a car that was broken in the track, and got a little too close to the tree and drove up the tree, and the tree helped me just kind of fall over.
So it wasn't a hard roll, it was just kind of lay over.
It was harder than last year at the end of the year when I rolled there at Rock Run. That was a really, really slow roll. And this one, it was pretty fast. And Michael was he was a little freaking out. Michael Plank rode with me.
Oh, okay.
So he said a couple choice words on the way over.
Wait. Michael Plank was scared about rolling over?
Yeah. He rubbed off some of his bad choo-choo on me or something.
See, now we have to have him on the show so people have backstory about that.
Yeah, we can't blame me or Doug for wrecking stuff anymore, like with our bad juju going on. It's Plank, because he got in your buggy and that thing went turtle on you.
Yep, right. I'm starting to weed out the people that can ride with me now.
Yeah. So far, it's like Courtney's okay, right?
Yeah, Courtney's still okay.
As long as she's got a diaper, she's good.
She says she's number one.
So I've got to qualify that for people who haven't heard the story. So rewind a couple of years ago to the Heartland Challenge, which is a endurance race. There's no stopping. There's just racing for 4 hours. And Courtney, who was a real trooper during that entire thing, was such a dedicated slave to the cause that she actually wet herself rather than stop and get out and do a pit stop.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you want to win, that's sometimes what it takes. So props to her on that.
Well, she kept telling me, "Don't you have to pee?" She said, "Why don't you take one for the team? Take one for the team." I said, "I'm good.
I'm fine.
Go ahead, enjoy yourself."
So same buggy this year again, right?
Again.
Yeah.
How's she holding up?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much new. I checked the engine over the winter, and she's like brand new.
Wow.
I can't say anything bad about this Can-Am X3's motors. The thing is, I don't think a brand new motor is any better than what I got after 2 seasons. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, you got 2+ a little because you picked it up like midway or towards the end of 17, is that right, or 18?
It started 2 years ago. It was brand new back in I bought an 18 and 18. So
yeah.
Well, in that first year, I mean, you raced a lot.
Yeah, I think 23, 24 races.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a lot of races on a machine.
Well, the second year had 20, 21 on it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that, and do you know off your top of your head how many hours are on it? Like, roughly?
Not hours, but miles. It has, it's closing in on 2,000.
And those are basically 2,000 race miles. I know you've done a little other riding with it, but
a little road riding, but not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, compared to most people's buggies that you see that have 1,700 miles on it, I mean, that's easy trail riding. I mean, 2,000 race miles is a lot of punishment. So, like you said, props to Can-Am for building something that just holds up super well.
And you really haven't had any major problems out of it.
No, I mean, the first year, the frame got kind of tore up real bad, and I took it down to Nightcrawler Customs there. Jeremy beefed it up quite a bit, and ever since then, it's been good. I've had to kind of touch up here or there where the frames had some issues, but other than that, put HCR arms on it to make all that stuff stronger. Of course, it's just going to beat on the frame even more now, so.
Yeah, well. But, I mean, the drivetrain's held up well. You haven't had, like, a plague of axle problems or anything like that. It's just actually been a really good car for as many race miles as you have on it.
I'd say I think I replaced one axle, and only because the shaft was bent, and that was the first year.
Wow.
So I mean, I replace them at least once a year, all of them. So that car went all the first year on all the original axles.
Yeah.
Well, and you were even on stock ball joints for most of that, weren't you? I mean, you hadn't put Kellers or anything in at that point.
Yeah, Steve put her to the test. He finally broke one for me.
Steve is really good at breaking stuff, though.
Yep.
So.
Yep, he raced it last year at the Heartland Challenge, and he was doing really good in it. And I guess he hit a couple little G outs too hard and fractured it. And the next jump or something, it shoved the wheel up in the fender. A-arm was dragging the ground, and
yeah, I got to work on that fun mess.
Yep, and thanks to Keller Ball Joints, he stepped in and threw some ball joints in there for him and let him get back out there and finish the race.
Yeah, Todd Keller was right in there, hands as greasy as all of us, and just getting that thing back out on the track for Steve. So
yeah,
super nice guy.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. I mean, he cares about racing, not just selling parts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what season or what series are you looking at running this year?
Right now, I was when we first started, I said I want to try this Pro Rock out. Nathan Wolf kind of talked me into doing it a little bit. He said, "Oh, it's not as bad as some of the stuff you've done." So we went down to Dirty Turtle, and I ended up second, and the track really wasn't that bad. And I thought, well, now I got to run it because I'm doing good in points. So between that one, I kind of want to do IXCR, but from yesterday, I'm starting off on a bad foot. So
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, for people wondering about the racing schedule, yesterday was IXCR King of the Mountain, which is probably, I don't know if it's their most popular race, but it's got to be in the top two if it's not the most popular one. And give us a rundown. I mean, obviously you had a bit of a day yesterday. Give us a rundown up to that point, and then just kind of, what happened out there since you were our boots on the ground for reporting.
Right. I should have gave you a GoPro clip or something, or just went live upside down like I did last time.
Hey, there's still time. This thing doesn't come out till Tuesday.
Right. Well, it was hot. Everybody knows it was hot yesterday in Indiana, and we had to start on the second row because we didn't run the first round, and we got a pretty good start. I think I was second into the corner behind Wofford, and we followed him into the woods. Probably about a mile, and he had some issues and pulled over. And then at that point I thought, well, I got to get going and catch these front guys. And it took me almost to the finish to get back in line behind about the sixth place front row guy, and pretty much just set in there and followed them guys around for a while. Tried to get by him, but that track is known for not having any passing lanes at all.
Yeah.
Super
There's
tight
very,
track.
very few.
Off camber. I mean, it's just, there's no passing at all. So
it wasn't wet there or anything, was it?
It was actually, very tacky in the woods, and the fields were very dusty.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because if that track gets some rain, it is just mud everywhere, slick
it's
mud.
like ice. That year I won down there, 2018, it was like ice.
Right. Yeah. That's the year I put one of those locust thorns like entirely through my hand.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I do.
I leaned up against a tree. We were trying to get. I was riding with Tyler Brittingham, and I was trying to help him get his machine out. And so I was bracing myself against this tree, and I put my hand up, and I couldn't pull my hand off the tree. I'm like, "What the heck?" Skewering myself.
Well, we raced down there. I rode in a car back in 16, 15, somewhere in there, and I was a passenger, and one of them thorns got behind me in the seat, and it was just poking me in the back, and I just couldn't wait to get out of that car.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean.
Yeah. So you're running the Pro Rock and you're running IXCR. Are you gonna spot in any others, or is just kind of stick to those and take it easy?
I'll run some extreme. I'd really like to try to run the whole series, but it's hard to try to run 3 or even 4 series. 2's enough.
Yeah, and plus you got your boys now.
Right, and then I've got the boys running in the 570, which would be IXCR has a class that's the side-by-side youth senior class. But the problem is they don't race every time we race. So every weekend's to where I take them to a race, and I might have to get my car and go to a different race that same day. So it's gonna be a struggle for sure.
Yeah. 2 series of your own plus running around what could be different race weekends, because your boys are running. That makes it hard. That's a lot to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
with Wagler shutting down, I was kind of hoping to get one of the other boy down there so they could flip flop back and forth. And with that shutting down, with the help from Corona, obviously, but
yeah,
it's this whole racing season. I think everybody's scrambling to try and just put something together. I don't mean the series. I mean the actual people running in the series, because things are going to get scheduled on top of each other, and with different travel restrictions and everything else. I mean, a lot of people are just trying to figure out how am I going to get through anything and have a meaningful season to show for it at the end of it all.
Right.
Yep.
So how are the you mentioned you've got some opposing things there with the boys racing, but when's their next event?
Actually, it'll be, trying to think, I believe it's the weekend after this. It's IXCR at Popcorn.
Okay. And is that a race for you there too?
No, there's no adult side-by-side there.
I'm looking at the schedule. June 20th and 21st, they've got side-by-side classes, youth senior and youth junior. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, the next 2 rounds are only senior and junior. The next one for adult isn't until August 1st in Whiskey River.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Yep.
Well,
which we have a Pro Rock race the weekend before that, so that's going to be another tough one if I tear the car up. I only have so many days to get it ready before that race.
Yep.
You need to be like Barry Miller and have like 6 cars.
Yeah. And own a plumbing company, right?
Exactly. Small things like that.
Yeah. So anything major done to the car this year other than a bunch of maintenance? I know you went through and you replaced a bunch of ball joints and bearings and things like that, just getting it ready for the season, normal stuff. But anything really new that you stepped out and trying something different with it, or just kind of business per normal?
Well, it seems like when you get a car for 2 years, you'd think you'd have it all nice and ready and bulletproof, but it's never ending. You know that.
Yeah.
I went with HCR arms and trailing arms, A-arms, all that junk this year. I went with, they're not junk, actually. They're tougher than the car itself. I went with Keller's again. He went and helped me out again this year.
Yeah.
I went with a Smart Lock I took out the Visco lock on it, put a smart lock in it.
Have you noticed a big difference in that versus the Visco lock?
I do not run it in anything but the normal mode, so it's just like it was.
Okay, so it feels like the Visco lock unless you like really need it, and then you might kick it in. Is that kind of your thought?
And I did that at the first Pro Rock. We would get to some of the hills, and I would kick it in full lock to kind of help out.
Yeah, but you notice a pretty good difference though when you kick it from say the Visco mode.
I actually tried it in the active mode, racing, and I didn't like it. And that wasn't even the full lock. That was just the partial lock.
Yeah.
It tends to want to fight you real bad.
I could see that, yeah, because it's locked all the time, and it probably want to push through the corners a little bit more.
Well, with the power of the car, with you being on the gas, it wants to throw the front end one way, and then it tries to pull you back the other way.
Yeah.
You got that. You also went with the kind of Barry Miller exhaust, didn't you?
Well, I got some help from a young man down at the Renegades race. So I had to take the old exhaust off and had Mikey's shop built me a new one.
Yeah, it looks pretty sharp. I saw it when you came out here to my place and we were doing some test and tune time, but it looks good, and it's nowhere near as loud as Barry's.
No, it's not. It's not that bad in the car either.
Yeah,
I'm just picturing Barry Miller selling his signature exhaust system, and you get, you're excited. You get the box in the mail. It feels really light. You open it up, and there's just nothing in there.
Well, yeah. Just a little, this is a coupler that comes right off the turbo, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's all you get.
Yeah. You put your factory exhaust in the box, and that's how you know you have his installed right.
That's right.
No, that's always one of the things with exhaust that it's hard to know exactly how it's going to be, but when you're in the car with the helmet on, if it's just going to roar in your head.
Right.
Yeah.
It did pick up, like on the rugged radio, it seemed like I had to turn down the setting so it wasn't picking up the background noise constantly and running all the time. That gets very annoying.
And that's something sometimes you don't even realize until you're in the car and have a helmet on, because what may not be annoying to your open ears when you've got earbuds in and then a helmet on, there's certain frequencies just penetrate that and are really annoying. So you don't actually know until you have all the gear on how you're going to like it or not.
Or like a race pace even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how you work that in there.
Nicely done.
But no, I mean, this was the main parts I put in the car this year. Just check the motor and everything out, and tried to beef it up some more. I figured if I was going to run these Pro Rock series, that I needed to make it tougher. So far, it's holding up.
So without giving away all of your dirty secrets, how often are you changing belts on that run? I mean, you're obviously running it hard. You're running at a race pace. Get our own plug in there. But how often are you changing belts when you're running it like that?
Oh, I run like 10 races on a belt.
Seriously?
No, I'm joking.
I was hoping so.
It depends on what race it is. Like if it's a points race for me, I'll put a new belt on every time.
Sure.
If I'm going to a local or something and the previous belt had a good racetrack, it wasn't super muddy, or I didn't have to crawl over rocks and slip the belt or anything like that, I won't be afraid to run it another time, maybe even a third time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, those X3s are pretty easy on the belt, so.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Because I know, a lot of Polaris racers are like, I put a new one on, sometimes 2 per race, but.
Right.
What kind of belts are you running?
I run the OEMs.
Do you?
Yep. I keep Lithgow. I actually keep his car loaded with a belt because how many belts I buy off of him.
Well, I was looking at the race results there, and top 3 overall, he had Dwight Pollard, Matt Lithgow, and John Barnes. So evidently, he's putting your money to good use.
That's right. I told him, I said, man, you've been on the podium down here like 2 or 3 times. You just can't get that sword. I just feel bad for him. He's right there.
He is.
Yeah, knocking on the door.
And he's still running his same car this year again, isn't he?
Actually, he had the new car.
Oh, did he have the new one ready?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
He had the new one.
Okay.
He said he's got some work to do to it. He wasn't super happy with it, but he liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he was only about 40 seconds, 50 seconds off the pace. Like he was close, but...
Well, that's who I was behind when I rolled.
Oh, okay.
So...
Sheesh.
With us being on the second row and me behind him, I'm kind of curious to see where, when IXCR puts out their lap times, to see where I was on the first lap. I don't know if they do the time adjustment on live scoring.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So looking here, Tyler Brittingham, speaking of the devil, actually earned himself a DNF as well. Do you know what happened to him? I haven't followed everybody's race reports yet since it just happened yesterday.
I don't know what happened to Tyler. I know Matt Hecker, he said that his radiator mounts broke and the radiator started flopping around and it started losing the coolant and got hot on him. So
yeah, you're better off to pull over at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No sense torching a motor.
And he did, I believe so. But I don't know what happened to Tyler. I remember watching the GoPro. I don't remember it actually during the race. Everything went so fast. But I remember watching the GoPro, and within the first half a lap, I remember seeing him pulled over on the side of the track. So maybe, I don't know, really, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, just curious. Yeah, it says he didn't turn a lap, like you said. So something right out of the gate, which those are the most frustrating races where you spend all that prep time and you're ready to race and you get there and something happens in the first lap, and those are the ones you start to doubt your sanity.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, trust me, I've been trying to test this car for all week. I've done a lot of stuff to it, and I'm not going to say what I've done to it yet, but I got to let the new get off of it first. But we've been doing a lot of clutching, and I didn't get it quite right. And I think I was up till about 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday, or actually it'd be Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And we loaded up that morning and headed to the race, and hoped it worked.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you've raced for any amount of time, every person has had that. Well, my test drive was I put it on the trailer and drove it to the start line.
Sometimes what it is.
Right.
Chad, even you and I did that a couple times.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about some modification you had done, and I was like, well, how much have you tested? You're like, well, I drove it up here to the line.
You're going to help me test it.
I put a steering quickener on, and I had never driven it, and I was like, well, we're going to see how it does.
We'll find out.
Yep.
Well, Devin, I know you're huge into social media and you love computers, so if people want to follow you, whereabouts would they go to do that?
That's funny you asked me. You put me on the spot, and I don't even know. I'm on Facebook. I know that. Under Devin Smith. I don't have a race page.
Fair enough.
Courtney said she's working on one for me. I told her,
okay,
I'm good. Whatever.
Fair enough.
I'm on Instagram. I think it's dsmith278.
Okay.
I've got a YouTube page.
Oh man.
Yeah, I do. I've got like a whole 10. I got like 10 subscribers.
I think I'm one of them.
I'm gonna go subscribe. I'm gonna bump that up to 11.
Well, I put 2 videos on there every year or so. So.
Yeah, but they're the two most entertaining ones. I don't know. I'm just the older generation. It just hasn't clicked yet, I guess. So.
No, that's fine. You're busy actually racing instead of producing, video content, which
right. We're
not going to say any specific names, but I do know some racers that put out a lot of video, but very little in terms of race results. So,
yeah.
Well, and I hate putting out the bad race results for my sponsors, but sometimes, you still got to let them know and let everybody else know that they're helping you out and they're there for you.
Exactly.
Yep.
So who are the big sponsors on board? We're about to do our sponsor roll call, but who are your big ones on board this year?
Call?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
I got Dynajet. Dynajet's helped me out a ton.
That's good.
And I've got HCR. He helped me out. Chris Mock there. He helped me out a lot this year. Of course, 834 powder coating. Matt's a good friend of mine.
Yep, and he's in his new shop now.
He's in his new shop, the buggy shop. It just opened up, Friday, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And they're having their grand opening, is it 2 weeks or something like that?
That's the first I heard of that. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm telling you, and you better go.
Yeah, I know. I've got other specialty graphics. Lithgow Motorsports helps me out. He's helped me out ever since I've been racing, pretty much. I've always been in a Can-Am, and I've always bought myself stuff through Lithgow. I've got Triple S off-road skid plates. They've been actually helping me for about 4 years now.
Okay.
They've got some awesome skid plates. He'll talk to you on the phone, and if something's not right, he helps you out with that.
Awesome.
G-Force Racing, Gary shocks. Them shocks, I tell you what. And I'm not just talking him up, but day in and day out, you see all his sponsored riders. They're always on the podium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though some people don't like the way his shocks ride, they're the best to me. I've been in other cars, and these things are just awesome. Tire balls have been helping me for a couple years now. VP Racing Fuels, GBC tires, they've helped me out for a couple years now.
I feel like somebody's feeding you information here.
Well, maybe a little bit. I've got TSR. For people that don't know who that is, that's Turbo Steve Racing.
Yeah.
Steve gives me too much information, but you know what? He's one of the first guys I call to ask questions. Yep. He's been a big help. LMM, we got Last Minute Motorsports. Just the little guys, our friends, they help out. Barry Miller Racing, he helps us out too. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. You guys put me on the spot.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to give you an opportunity to, say thank you to them. And, all the people that are standing behind you goes to show that in racing, it does take a village to raise an idiot.
Right. Yep. Oh, and I got to thank you guys too. You guys do a lot for us.
Yeah, we try. We try to mess things up, and we're good at that.
For us side-by-side guys. Courtney's back here going, hey.
Well, we want to thank you. We want to thank our sponsors as well. Of course, we've got 834 Powder Goat on board as well. And Matt, we're super excited that you finally made it into the new shop. We've got Watch Communications standing behind us. They've been hosting this podcast and our website ever since that was a thing. And we've also got Spanx Fab on board, who makes some outstanding cages and tree kickers, bumpers, whatever you need to reinforce your buggy and get it ready for the racetrack. They can hook you up as well. You can find us on the web at eminentperformance.com, on YouTube /Eminent Performance. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook /Eminent Racing. And if you want the audio version of this podcast, just go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you find your podcast, and look for Eminent Performance, and you're going to find us there as well.
Yep.
And if it's not too much trouble, we really would appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel or leave us a like or a comment or anything that shows that you're tuning in and listening, because that kind of signals these big companies that you are interested and they help promote our content that way. Chad, is there anything I'm forgetting?
Nope. That's about it. Looking forward to seeing what Devin does with this fancy buggy back there.
Yeah.
The dinosaur.
Yeah, but she's still winning.
Exactly.
No, it's not. It's been crashing here lately.
Not this week, but...
It's not the buggy's fault, though. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm subscribed to your channel. What do I do to get it to notify me?
There's a little bell down right below it, and you just click that bell, and when it's got like little, lines coming off of it, that means it'll notify you when we post something.
I got
all of our fantastic
For all you
content.
Viewers out there, if you don't know that, I didn't know that, but
there you go.
There you go.
Today you learned. All right, Devin, we really do appreciate your time, and look forward to seeing you out the next one.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's our pleasure. And everybody else out there, thanks for riding along with us. We'll catch you down the road.
See ya.